I've been asked to show you how to do curved text in Canvas Workspace. I'm going to show 3 ways. There is a 4th, and that is if you use Inkscape. I don't personally use that software, so I'm not showing you how to do that. We're going to start in Word, and first of all I'm going to change it to a landscape page. I want to make this text as large as I can. Today I'm just going to use the word hello in caps locks. I'm going to highlight the text and I'm going to go to the insert menu. Over here we've got word art, and I'm just going to pick this plain text here. I am also going to go back and make it bold, and I'm going to make it as big as I possibly can. Let's try it about there. Now when I've got that there, I've got a shape format menu that's come up, so I'm going into the shape format, and under here we have text effects, and if we go down to transform I can choose that one, and I've got an arch, which is kind of what I want, but I want it to come down a bit more, so highlighting it and just bringing it, getting it to pretty much what I want. Now it doesn't look like I can get that text any bigger. Let's have a look. It's not making it any bigger, so that's as big as we can want it. Now I can rotate that just slightly to get it where I want it. I'm trying to get the O and the H pretty even across here. I think I'm a bit happy with that. From there we can print the file. Okay, I've got it loaded, I've printed it, I have it loaded on my scanning mat, and I'm just going to go to scan, and I'm going to do scan to cut data, and I'm going to press start. So it just goes through the scanning process. Now there are 2 ways I can save this. I'm going to do both and show you how they both work. So once it's recognized it, I'm going to select this one at the end, resize to about the shape so I don't pick up anything else, and here you have to click preview from there. Okay, now I'm going to press OK, and it's going to give me some options to save it. First of all I'm going to save it to the machine. But to show you another way, I'm also going to save it using the computer method, which takes it to my online Canvas. Now we're going to look at both these ways to import it into Canvas Workspace. So once that comes up as saved, we'll go back to the computer. Just want to make sure we've got a successful save, and eventually it will come up. There we go, save successful. Okay, so I've saved it to Canvas Online and to my machine. So let's do Canvas Online first. Opening Canvas Online, I'm going to my projects, and there it is there. Now I have a couple of choices. I can open and edit it in Canvas Online and send it to my machine, or I can download it. So let's have a look at it. The first thing you'll notice is that they're separate, so you definitely want to group them so they stay in the right place. Now let's just go in there a bit. We want to make sure that the edges aren't too ragged. There's a couple of, see, that's not real good there. So let's go to Canvas Desktop and see what sort of result we get. So here's Canvas Desktop. This time I'm going to File and Import from my cutting machine, and I'm going to import FCM file, and it will bring in the last file I saved. FCM because I did a scan to cut data. Okay, let's just go up and in. You can see that I've really got no difference here. I've still got a couple of the lines. If I want to fix them, I'm going to have to go and click again and probably go right in and play with nodes. Oh, I'm sorry, hit me back there. Just So I would need to move that into there and that into there. That's still a bit bumpy, isn't it? This is the problem with nodes, you just got to still not happy with it. Let's just bring that one out a bit. Bring that one out a bit. That's probably better, but not overly happy, I have to say. Well, that one's definitely better. So you're only going to see these things if you zoom right in. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad, and it would cut fine. Now again, these are not grouped, so let's just go out a bit. And if I click on one, and you see it because I was working on the O, they're not grouped. So always you want to group them, because otherwise if you touch one it's going to be out of alignment. Here you can still play with it a little bit, and if you want to see if you've got them straight, just draw a line. So I just did a draw a line. I can delete that in a minute. Now if I come back to the hello, I can play with it so they're about equal distances. That's probably a little bit better. So I can cut that, just delete this line before I go to cut it. So that's sort of two ways you can, whoops, do it. Oh, all else fails, pick it up there and delete it. Okay, so that gives me the hello on the curve that I want, either through Canvas Desktop or Canvas Online. Now the other thing you can do for Canvas Online, oh sorry, is I just logged myself out. That was the silly thing to do, wasn't it? Let's just log in again, go to my projects. From here you can also download it to your machine. So if you click the down arrow, you can download it to your machine. It will give you a couple of choices usually. If you've got a program that will open it, I've got shortcuts a lot, but if I just save the file, it will go into my downloads folder and I can open that in Canvas Workspace. It's going to look exactly the same. Okay, the other option is to do it in shortcuts a lot. Now shortcuts a lot make it really easy, but what I'm going to do first of all is turn on the grid. I had it off because I was taking an image. This is an A4 size page, that will do. So I'm going to do text, and if I hold it long enough I can do type on an arch. So if I type in hello, it's going to be an arch. Again, oops, I can play with the arch, so I can pull it down to give me more of it. I can change the font to, and I can make it bold. I would probably use something like Arial Black, which gives me nice clear letters. If I go in on this one, you can see it's perfectly formed. No odd bits and pieces. So having a program like Shortcuts a lot where it's built in makes a much easier way to cut an effective file. Just have a look at the preview, see I've got all straight lines and it's all okay. Okay, there is another way to do it as well. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. I'm just going to put that down a bit. I'm going to type in hello. That font doesn't look too bad. What are we on? Antique Oakland. Let's go to the Arial Bold. The Arial, what was it? Arial Black. Ancestry. And now you seem to Arial. Doesn't have the Arial Black. Let's try the Arial MT around. I just want fairly good size. Oh no, I think I liked it better in the font from Canvas. Okay, I have the letters there. I'm going to go to my edit screen and I'm going to divide. What this is going to do is divide all the letters. Now I'm going to add a shape and I'm going to find a circle or a half circle, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is what I want them on. Oh, that will need to be a bit bigger than that. And I'm going to go in so we can see what we're doing. Now remember, I've separated these letters, but I also want the top and the bottom to be equal. So again, I'm going to draw a line, holding down the shift key. Okay, this is just giving me a lineup. Okay, so taking each letter, I'm going to try and get them so they sit pretty much. Now the L is going to be in the middle, so I'm going to highlight the L and the semicircle, and I'm going to align it in the middle because I'm knowing that's where I want that. Now we've got the other one just touching the top, so we need this one just touching the top to keep the line. So the E would go in the middle and it's going to be about half a turn. So just seeing that we've got the bottom pretty much where we want it, just move it a little bit over to space it out. Still doesn't look quite right to me, but you can manage this by creating another square. And now I want to move our line up so it's on the bottom of the H there, because that is where we want the O. I'm going to turn it about the same angle, and that's probably pretty much where we want it, but we need it turned a little bit. So what I'm aiming for is pretty much the center of the bottom of the letter being on the semicircle. So let's turn that one a little. You could do this turning by percentage over here at the angle, and then you would get them all exactly the same way. I'm eyeballing this. Okay, so now take that away, and we take that away. We've got not a bad spacing of it. I just need to turn that a little bit more now that I've done that. So it's given me a fairly good range of what I want. I could have them closer together, I could play around with that. They're all pretty much in line. You can see they're all in line. Let's just go up a bit and over a bit. Just might turn this one just a little bit more. There we go. So I now need to group or weld those. I'm just going to group it, so I'll go into this layers menu and group it, and it will cut just like that. I think the actual finish is better on that than this, because you've got these little bumpy bits. Depends on the size you're cutting. So that's 3 different ways that you can do a curved text in for your Brother Scan and Cut. By far the easiest way is to have other software that will do it, but you can do it by printing it up in Word and typing it up in Word and scanning it, saving it to your machine, and then uploading it into Canvas, so you can just make sure you're happy with it all, adjust any nodes you need to do. You can do it here by adding a shape. So if you wanted, say, a different shape, let's have shapes. Let's say you want it on a triangle. I don't know, but you might want it on a triangle. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to make this triangle a bit smaller, and I'm just going to ungroup that because we grouped it, so I'll ungroup it. Now, in this case, we would want the L right in the middle, so we just go to the edit menu and align center. Okay, so now it would be a matter of don't think you'd be doing triangles very often, but it's a little bit easier in some way because the bottoms of the letter are going to be flat. Let's turn that and move it over just a bit. Okay. Now if I wanted to check if my E and L were even, and you can see they're not, so if I wanted it, if I wanted it where the L is, I would put it on the L and I would just move, moving the wrong way, moving up and then over a bit and then maybe turning it a bit. It's just, you know, playing with it really. The L's a little off the edge, so let's put that in a bit closer. So you end up with it in a triangle. Not my scene, of course, but that gives you an idea of playing around with it. So there you go. There's a few ideas on how you can curve text for Canvas Workspace.